Pokémon Legends ZA has got some insane ways to shiny hunt, and with the potential at so many cool Pokemon, I thought I'd try and beat the game using only shinies. Throughout this video, we'll use multiple methods to find tons of different shinies, and as I began my journey in Lumiose, I wanted to find one right away. Sadly, I can't really do that as the starters are shiny locked, but there is a really cool method I wanted to try out in Wild Area 3. This means I've got to go through a small portion of the early game without a shiny, though the only trainer here is Zach Eternal Z, and this guy truly sucks. With that, I make it to Wild Area 3 and run in and out of this door about 1,000,000 times. I'm sure this looks weird, but just let me explain. Legends ZA has a new mechanic that causes shinies to never despawn. Thanks to that feature, I can use this door to freely reset the area and never check whether or not the Pokemon are shiny. After holding down on my joystick for only about 30 minutes, I went to check to see if I was lucky, and boy was I. That's a really good one. Oh. Oh no, two shinies, get me out of here. Oh, is it 3? It's 3! Litleo, Skiddo, and Flabebe. Not only are these really cool shinies, but they didn't even take me that long to get. With the core members of my team established, I go ahead and run some errands around Lumiose City. During this process, I defeat a Sableye, catch a Pikachu, and get absolutely destroyed by this Alpha Bunnelby. This made me realize my team is incredibly weak, and if I want to beat the game, I've got to become a whole lot stronger. To gather up XP, I beat up on these defenseless Magikarps until I felt I was at a high enough level to at least try again. Even with my Litleo at level 19, I still felt as though I barely prevailed, and this just goes to show how hard this run could end up being. After reporting back to Emma, she tells me about Mega Evolution, and this makes me immediately want a shiny Mega. I guess we currently have the potential at Pyroar, but I want more. That led to me starting another shiny hunt, though this one was a lot more hands-on than just the door. It still revolves around the same base principle of shinies never despawning, though to reset the area, I've got to go to my map. No more easy days of holding down on the joystick. Instead, I have to hold it a little bit right and then press A. It's much harder. It actually took me way longer to yield a worse result, though I was still able to find a Patrat and Ghastly. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have been hunting in Wild Area 4, though I did still get that Mega Evolution with Gengar, if I could only figure out how to evolve Ghastly into Gengar. There's no link cable in this game, and I don't know how to obtain that evolution, so I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. With my new team, I look to obtain a Challenger's ticket so I can fight Yvonne in my promotional match. She carries level 15 fairy types, which would have been a problem if my Litleo wasn't so over-leveled. Her last Pokemon was a Vivillon who's level 16, but with a few embers, I was able to take care of her. With that, my colorful team moves up to rank X, and my next mission is to get to W. Before I begin, I fight my rival Naveen, who's got a pretty bad team. It's kinda just Litleo and Flabebe fodder, and with a quad-effective Fairy Wind, I can move on. As I was heading to the next area trying to get another Challenger's ticket, I ended up encountering this shiny Pidgey. Not a clue where that came from, but I'm never gonna say no to another mutated mon. Using it in tandem with a few of my other Pokemon gets me 7 wins in a row and another Challenger's ticket. With that, my promotional match is against an absolute nerd, and he almost beat me. He's got a team of 4, and his Venipede went down with little issue, though the next Kadabra immediately one-shot my Patrat. This led to us trading Pokemon for Pokemon until all that was left was Furfrou, and he was a major problem. He one-shot nearly everything I threw at him until eventually I sent out my Pidgey, and he took himself out with recoil damage from takedown. Undeservingly, I was promoted to W rank, though this made me realize I needed to train my team even more. I did so against Lita, as I had to return to her things anyways. Not really sure what she could possibly store in this tiny little sack, but she's got it back now. Prior to our battle, I evolved my Pidgey, though it really won't be required as my Skiddo is super effective against her water types. Once she's finished off, I'm told that I can pass the time using these benches, and this will actually come in handy later on. For now, I evolved my Flabebe, which allows me to easily obtain another Challenger's ticket. My next match is against a waiter whose only goal is to make his restaurant 3 stars, and I feel like this is like not hard to do. Too bad I crush his dreams defeating his team of elemental monkeys with my still extremely underleveled squad. As soon as I made it to rank V, Zygarde appeared in front of me, then teleported me on top of this roof. Not sure how he did this, but I think he was trying to end my journey. He placed me right in front of a rogue Mega Absol without any Megas to deal with him. Thankfully, I was found by AZ and could take care of him using his Mega Lucario. I'm forced to catch the Absol, even though I really didn't want to, because he's not a shiny. I also have to take him into a battle against Tawny, where she absolutely destroys me because I don't have a Mega Evolution. Thankfully, we're about to be able to buy a few of them, but before I do, I want to catch some more shinies. Using the same method as last time, I hunted in Wild Area 7 and 8. After a few hours searching in 7, I found nothing good, so I went to 8 and ended up finding 2 shinies. One of these was a Numel, who I'll soon be able to Mega Evolve, and the other was Sandile, who becomes incredibly important later on. After revamping my team, I head over to the Quasarticos building, I hope that's how you pronounce that, destroy a few Dedenes, then meet Vinny. He's actually my opponent in my next promotion match, and with my new team, I decided to take him on right away. This didn't really go too well, as I didn't even make it to his Mega Evolution, and his Sharpedo destroyed most of my team. You know what that means, more training. I head over to Area 10, where I destroy the Slowpoke and Carvanha population to evolve my Ghastly into a Haunter. I did this for so long, my controller nearly died. I also evolved my Sandile into a Croc, then with my team at a high enough level, I went back to challenge Vinny. This time, the battle was way different, as my Croc took out Houndoom, and for Sharpedo, I sent out Floette. I made quick work of his next 2 Pokemon, then made it onto his Mega Evolution, Drampa. Drampa being part dragon means my Floette is super effective, so I'm able to do at least half before getting taken down. The rest of my team was able to finish him off, and with that, I moved all the way up to rank F. Apparently, I'm one of the most skilled trainers in Kalos, as now I get to help out Vinny in his rogue Mega problem. Before I do that, I meet up with Naveen, who tells me I'll have to battle her favorite streamer, Kanari. To prove that I'm the ultimate content creator, I get all the challenger tickets necessary to fight her as soon as possible. Before I can fight in my next promotion match, me and the gang get together and figure out how we're gonna deal with these rogue Mega Evolutions. Unsurprisingly, I'm gonna have to fight literally all of them, but I guess Team MZ is gonna help out a little bit, so yay team. First, I wanted to fight Victreebel because this is the funniest Mega Evolution ever. Originally, he ended up actually defeating me, but that's because I wasn't really trying and didn't realize my Pokemon were so low. This time, I was able to defeat him, and next on the chopping block was Mega Camerupt. The sooner I could get rid of him, the better, as this would grant me a Mega Stone that I could use immediately. His pattern of attacks was pretty simple, as I just dodged a bunch of Earth powers until eventually he went down. With this Cameruptite, I finally obtained a Mega Evolution and used it in my battle against the next rogue Mega Slowbro. Sadly, being quad weak to water did not help in this fight. Still, I was able to deal a sizable amount of damage with my other Pokemon, so I won the fight. In this game, you fight Megas in batches of 3, so with that trio defeated, I move forward into the game. Apparently Zygarde was stalking me the entire time and now wants to battle, but thanks to my Floette, this isn't too hard. As a prize for defeating him, he gives me a Pebble, which I'm not sure will ever be useful, but thanks I guess. It's now time for my next promotion match against Naveen's streamer, and apparently he's got some insider knowledge that I need to know. I battle him for it because I must prove I'm the better creator. All this led to a huge hunt for information about Kanari, where I had to answer a bunch of true or false questions, and I think I got way too far into this. Eventually, the Kanari on stage crowned me the winner, and I was able to meet her for my promotion. Turns out the one on stage was actually her grandpa, who ended up battling me with his Mega Excadrill. With a Lava Plume from Camerupt, I can move on to my actual promotion match, where Kanari has a bunch of electric types. Not gonna lie to you, this is great for my team, as I have multiple ground types that are ready to deal tons of damage. My Mega did a number on her entire team, including her final Pokemon, Mega Electros. A little side note, this is by far my favorite new Mega. The little plus and minus on her hands are so cool. This made me really want one of my own, so I went to Wild Area 10, where there's 2 little Tynamos in the back. After a bunch of resets, I eventually found this shiny Carvanha. I guess it's still a Mega shiny, but definitely not the Tynamo I was hoping for. I immediately evolve him into Sharpedo, then put him on the team in favor of Haunter. My team will continue to change, as there's still many more shinies I want to catch and a bunch of methods I still haven't tried yet. But before I do that, I want to progress in the game a bit, and this is where I find out I have to fight up against another trio of rogue Megas. First was Beedrill, who's got this really cool looking needle move that shot out everywhere. His defenses are still terrible though, so I made quick work of him. Before challenging Mega Bayonet, I decided to evolve my Croc Rock into Crocodile. My new team member made quick work of him, pushing me forward onto the final Mega Hawlucha. He's got this massive move that he fired off at the end of the fight, which brought me down immediately into the red, but my Floette was able to take care of him soon after. Still, a really scary attack as he blew up literally everything around us. It's at this point that my next promotion match was decided, and I have to go up against Ivor, who's just a big time airhead. With him being so dumb, me and the detective have to tag along in helping him find his sister. This brings me on to a wild goose chase where I've got to battle a bunch of different trainers and go into the sewers. Yuck. When we actually find his sister, it turns out she was actually just running away from him. The Fist of Justice is a terrible brother. We fight and I win as Mega Chandelure really can't keep up with my Crocodile. With that, we get my promotional match out of the way where I send in my Floette to hopefully take care of all his fighting types. Sadly, she immediately went down. Then I was forced to pick up the pieces throughout the rest of the fight. With Mega Camerupt, I took out both Medicham and Machamp, and this left me with only Mega Phalanx. Camerupt did go down, but not before dealing a sizable amount of damage and burning him. This made it easy for my Crocodile to clean up, pushing me on to rank D. Before figuring out where I wanted to start my next shiny hunt, I decided to progress in the story a bit as it gives me access to more wild areas. In Wild Area 16, there's a Froakie, and I really want that. With the story stuff, I find out that Tawny actually borrowed a lot of money from the Rust Syndicate for literally no reason. Well, I guess it was to help with some promotional videos, but they didn't do well, so it really wasn't worth it. This led to a long conversation with their boss Corbeau, where he told me I have to work for him now, which really sucks. On top of that, Tawny was nowhere to be found, so she just let this happen to me. In our next strategy meeting, she finally decides to show, but this is only after I volunteered as tribute to pay off her debt. Very convenient, Tawny, I see you. Now we've got another trio of rogue megas to deal with, the first of which is Mawile, who attacks me a lot. It was almost as if it didn't care about my actual Pokemon and was only trying to take care of me. Regardless, my Camerupt did the job, as next is Mega Barbarnacle, who is easily the worst new design in the game. He just summoned a bunch of Binacles that I ran away from the entire fight. My team wasn't necessarily amazing for this fight, but we still did the job. Apparently Lysander and Zygarde were both watching me do this, and I can go talk to Zygarde, but Lysander, I mean, do we know what that guy did 5 years ago? Before fighting the last Mega, I went back to Wild Area 10, as this place has some Tynamos that I would really like shining. This was where I attempted another new shiny hunting method, though it didn't work too well for me. In Legends ZA, Pokemon load in within 50 meters of your character. I can reset everything within that distance by switching from day to night using these benches. I did this for about 2 hours and didn't find a shiny, so I just gave up. Going back to my original plan of shiny hunting when I had more wild areas, I went to go challenge the Mega Ampharos. Not really a difficult battle, especially since my Crocodile is an absolute unit. Unfortunately, this is where everything starts to go poorly for me, as I've got to do a bunch of chores for the Rust Syndicate all over Lumia City. They even made me clean up a sewer. I don't even know how I ended up here. After doing all that, I fought a few people from the SBC, not really sure what it stands for or who they are, but they were really easy to take care of. With all that finished up, I figure out my next promotion match, and it's actually against Corbeau. I need another challenger's ticket though, so I destroy as many people as I can find in the nearest battle zone. Once it's obtained, I fight Corbeau and his team of poison types, and this isn't gonna go well for him. Ground types are super effective against him, and I have 2 of those, one of which can Mega Evolve. I made quick work of his first few Pokemon, including this Gyarados that he just randomly threw out. Eventually, I made it to his ace Mega Scolipede, and this is a really cool Mega. Too bad it struggles pretty heavily when being burnt to a crisp, and with that, I make it to rank C. Turns out Corbeau isn't actually a bad guy. I mean, he gives me this fist bump, so he can't be. Before continuing on into a few rival battles, I decide to evolve my Floette into a Florges. While I do that, I'll remind you guys about the members-only Cobblemon server I'm starting. I'm doing it next week, so this is a last call. If you want anything in it, you gotta let me know. Also, if you plan on joining, make sure you get in the Discord. It'll be a link in the description. First up is Lita, and she is super effective Pokemon against most of my team, though it really wasn't much of an issue as a lot of them are unevolved. Naveen was next, and I'm sure he would have been a lot harder if his Mega Scrafty wasn't 4 times weak to Moonblast. After doing that, I get invited to this SBC place where there's a bunch of people ready to do a tournament that I did not sign up for. We ended up leaving immediately as we had to save some rogue megas, and the people there did not like that. Their leader is a woman named Jacanthe? I don't know how to pronounce that at all. She spends her time trying to convince me and Tawny to go back to the tournament, but we've got to fight Mega Frostlass, Altaria, and Venusaur. We make sure it's a priority for us because these Pokemon are literally suffering. Venusaur was first and thankfully wasn't too difficult, and neither was the next Frostlass. Last was Altaria, who I countered so hard. Whenever she'd fly in the air, my Florges would literally just follow her. As soon as that trio was finished off, I was immediately bombarded by a group from the SBC. They cornered us in their self-made wild zone, forcing me to battle. With my ground types, they didn't pose much of an issue, though this is where I figured out who my next promotion match is against, and yeah, this is a problem. Back to the tournament I go, where my first match is against Kanari, but her electric types are basically just food for my Crocodile. He ate good, up until Mega Electros blew up nearly my entire team. My Pyroar took her down, but that was terrifying. Next I have Eivor, which was way easier than last time as my Florges is fully evolved. After mopping the floor with him, I can move on to Corbeau and his poison types. This battle was pretty similar to the last, though this time his Scolipede was able to take down one of my Pokemon. Again, Overheat from Pyroar saved me a lot of trouble, and as I was trying to finish the tournament, Zygarde appeared. I've fought like 6 or 7 trainers at this point. I am tired of fighting. Even though Zygarde was boosted and made it all the way to his 50% form, I was still able to destroy him thanks to my Florges. That, along with the fact that my Florges is just cooler because she's a shiny. Finally, I can get my promotion match underway, and she actually has 5 different Pokemon. Her Carbink and Mawile were pretty easily dealt with by Pyroar and Florges. The same was the case with Aurorus, though Gardevoir gave me a little bit of trouble. She brought 2 of my Pokemon really low before I could finish her off and move on to the final Pokemon, Mega Clefable. Florges actually put up a really good fight here as I healed nearly all the damage I took thanks to Synthesis and Draining Kiss. Eventually, Florges was KO'd, but with Clefable so low, I sent in my Pyroar to go for a single overheat, and that won my match. Now I'm up to rank B and I've unlocked a significant number of wild areas. I specifically wanted to hunt in Wild Area 16 as it gives me the chance at a Greninja. This didn't work out too well as I was hunting for hours and didn't find anything. I decided I'd just come back here later, but of course, right when I left, my shiny luck activated and I encountered this Fletchling. Just my luck to leave and then immediately encounter a shiny not even close to Wild Area 16. That did kind of motivate me to start looking for Froakie again though, so after I got my next batch of Megas, I decided to just leave them. Yes, I know they're technically suffering, but I don't care because I am too without my shiny Froakie. Give it to me! Give it to me! I teleport to Wild Zone 5 because it's really close to 16 and also has the chance of giving me a Venipede, which I'd be really happy about. It took a few hours, but as soon as I went to walk around, this shiny appeared in front of me. Thankfully, it was one that I was looking for, but in Wild Area 16, I had no Froakie. Still, I am happy with Scolipede as that Mega Evolution has gotta look so cool. Before I can see it, I go ahead and challenge some of the rogue Megas, first up being Tyranitar. In this battle, I actually used Mega Sharpedo for the first time as I recently bought the Mega Stone, and it is really cool. With his help, we can quickly put Tyranitar aside and move on to the next rogue Mega Dragonite. As it's been throughout this entire run, Florges makes dragon types incredibly easy to deal with, though he did have this massive explosion move that nearly instantly took me down. Once he was down, he gave me the Dragonite, which is just a terrible name for a Mega Stone. I then went and evolved my Whirlipede into Scolipede before challenging the last Mega Starmie. He grows legs and apparently can jump now. Sorry, he's just so funny. He went down pretty quickly, and with that trio of Megas finished off, I finally got to see what Mega Scolipede looks like. It is just absolute perfection. After that, it's been decided that my next promotion match is against this guy named Grisham. Apparently, nobody knows who he is, so I've got to become a little bit of a detective and get some information out of Emma and Mabel. I'm given a location on where he is, and it's actually the coffee shop that we always go to. He's the guy behind the counter and is apparently still a member of Team Flare. This is just an absolute shock. There's nothing on them like logos or anything that would even indicate that they were still part of that team. I agree to meet him and his sister at the Lysander Cafe, and this is where I find out that she's an absolute weirdo as she calls me a good little boy. Ew. We battle over this and I beat her, though it was only by the skin of my teeth. My Pyroar bested hers even though she was Mega Evolved, and with that I went into Lysander's labs. Not gonna lie to you, this place is incredibly creepy, and as I run away from Pokemon, I'm told that AZ is actually the one that created the ultimate weapon all those years ago. Apparently, he actually created a second one, and this is what we're trying to stop in Prism Tower. I talked to him about it, and he's really apologetic, so we move forward with our original plan of me just getting to A rank. To do that, I need a challenger's ticket, and afterwards I go ahead and fight Grisham. He's got a full team of 6, and I beat him, but just barely. My Florges was able to solo his first 2 Pokemon, though when Pyroar got sent in, it wasn't so easy. She took care of my camera up as I brought in Crocodile to finish her off. This didn't put me in a great position when Tyranitar was sent in, and I was only able to get off an Earthquake before getting taken down. I was hoping Sharpedo would be able to finish him off safely, but we both ended up taking each other out. This was when Florges took out his Salamence, and he was only left with Mega Charizard. Even though it was my 3 remaining against his 1, I was barely able to defeat him. Pyroar barely landed an Overheat, which promoted me to rank A. Now Zygarde deems me as worthy, so we could start getting into the end of the game. As me and Team MZ are eating dinner, Tawny tells me that she's actually also rank A. We promised to battle in the morning, then all of a sudden, Prism Tower basically just explodes. The tower's trying to assume its final form, and Tawny decides to battle me because she wants to go up there instead of me. I guess since we're both A rank, it makes sense that the stronger person should go, but even after I defeated her, she still just went. I think she just wants to steal all the glory, but what do I know? AZ's Floette takes her up there, and our plan doesn't work at all. The tower turns into a literal monster, summoning Mega Evolutions all over the city. With this massive threat in front of us, Team MZ and everybody I've met thus far group up together to fight these Mega Evolutions. They were still incredibly hard to deal with, though thanks to my Scolipede having Toxic, I could poison them, making it a little bit easier. After defeating some of those with Kanari, I go into this massive parkour course. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this with so much at stake. I beat it, but did I really win? I mean, I feel like I wasted a bunch of time. I much prefer the Rust Syndicate's method. I mean, it's straightforward to the point. They just made a human ladder. After all that's completed, Floette threatens to destroy the city, but I have Zygarde who hopefully can help me out. With his 100% form, we do all we can to fight side by side, though it's not really working. He seems like he was doing majority of the damage, as all I can do is barely take down these flowers on the ground. When I say barely, I truly mean it, as they were able to do so much damage to me, it was crazy. I was forced to revive my Pokemon multiple times, but eventually I did take them down and Zygarde finished the job. After going for a Core Enforcer, it had looked like we won, but unfortunately, Floette had one final move. It launched a pillar of light into the sky, and it seemed as though we had nothing to do to avoid the blast. It was then that the random pebble Zygarde gave me at the beginning of the game turned out to be a Mega Stone. With that, I Mega Evolved for the final time, and me and Zygarde took care of this last threat. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. More Legends ZA content will be coming soon, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.